I think this is a very important discussion that has to happen right now because, I wasn't thinking about it too much the other day, guys, but it kind of dawned on me last night for some reason, in light of it being the 4th of July and just everything that's going on right now. I thought Biden was going to be a bad president. I even thought it was possible he would be a failure. He is possibly heading to James Buchanan type territory as a failure of a president. Please share your thoughts on just how bad he has been. And then, of course, the prospect that he really does need to be primaried, regardless of what his plans are in 24.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what you said. He's way worse than even I would have expected, because even though I didn't vote for Joe Biden, I voted for Howie Hawkins, the Green Party candidate. I'm not going to lie, I was still a little bit relieved when Trump, finally left office. And it was like, okay, well, at least as much as I disagree with Biden, as corrupt and horrible as he is, at least now we have some adults in the room, right? Apparently not even that, because the country's still in total disarray. It seems like, the government is just as, corrupt as ever. It seems like there's just as much lack of any sort of action. And as a result, it's really empowered the right wing. We have this burgeoning, right-wing fascist movement now in this country because of just how ineffectual the Democrats have been. So, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's even worse than expected. And I think whether Biden likes it or not, he's going to have to face some sort of challenge from somebody, whether or not it's a leftist or, some guy like Howard Stern, who's just like, it's time for me to jump in this race because I want attention and because Biden's, vulnerable.
Yeah, I think that, there's a lot to unpack when it comes to the Biden presidency. Because, look, I carry all of the weight and shame of actually having signed off on this. I did vote for Joe Biden. I thought that he was going to at least accomplish a couple of key things that he didn't do. I thought he was going to shore up the Iran deal. I thought he was going to potentially stop supplying weapons to Saudi Arabia, to continue slaughtering and committing basically a genocide in Yemen. These little marginal things. I also am sympathetic to the argument that Trump is a fascist and I wanted him out of office on principle. So all those things, obviously Joe Biden is corrupt and we knew all that going in. He's basically a Republican president and he's governed as such. So I think as far as, maybe that's a little egg on my face. Maybe I should have anticipated that this guy would be, just a brain dead bag of bones. Gavin and I actually, before the podcast was ever a thing, we ran this blog called the Vanguard blog. And an article we wrote together, actually, we collaborated on. It was called The Weekend at Biden's. And we just photoshopped the Pete Buttigieg and Barack Obama or whatever, just carrying Joe Biden's body across the finish line. And we were like, holy shit, they're actually going to be able to do this. They're actually going to be. And he's just governed that way. Right. In kind of like the same way that the Republican neocons were able to manipulate how fucking absolutely dumb as rocks George Bush was in the 2000s to do whatever the fuck they wanted. The neo liberal class, the Wall Street class of the Democratic Party, with all of their fecklessness, they're just going to manipulate Joe Biden, who, has no real cognitive ability left. Kamala Harris is a complete disaster as a vice president. She's not able to take any heat off of him. So, yeah, I mean, I think they have to dump him, right? Because the alternative for the Democratic establishment is, as Gavin said, to get a guy like Howard Stern. I think what they'll end up trying to do is rally behind a guy who's younger. I don't think they'll go for Pete Buttigieg because that's tried out. But I think that the Democratic establishment has to realize at this point that Joe Biden is such a feckless, disaster of a president that they have to do something in the primary, which also will open the door. Unfortunately, it's a Pandora's box for them. It will open the opportunity or the door for, somebody else to sneak in and challenge whoever their, predetermined candidate will be. But yeah, that's a long-winded answer. Basically, fuck Joe Biden. And I think that the Democrats are going to, even in all of their, rigid stupidity, going to try and primary him themselves.
Yeah. The thing is, they don't really have anybody. I mean, for me, it almost seems like the only plausible strategy they could come up with would be to replace Kamala and try to run Joe, because she can't do it. And they could maybe bring in somebody as another VP candidate that maybe has more energy, more draw, more something. Mm-hmm. But they don't have anybody that could take a lead role in this. They have nobody.
Yeah, it's really crazy how how much they don't have any rising stars. Like the Democratic Party just has literally no one that's like the obvious next choice. We got Pete Buttigieg and fucking Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar. And I will say, Zach and I obviously have spent the entirety of the Biden's presidency just, pointing out all of the failures of his administration, of course. But it actually is nice, I will say, in a kind of sick way, to finally have the rest of like liberal, just mainstream normie Democratic voters kind of catch up to us where we've been the whole time. Because in the wake of the, complete fumbling of the ball and the just total lack of any sort of response to the overturn of Roe v. Wade, I really do see a lot more kind of normie Democrats, people that normally would have no problem voting for Joe Biden. Now they're pissed off too. So instead of the liberals fucking gaslighting us progressives and socialists now, they're with us in feeling this rage and anger towards Joe Biden, because now their main issue, which obviously is an incredibly important issue to me too, but when you talk about just most, normie liberal voters, they don't necessarily expect Joe Biden to give them health care or socialism or anything like that. But abortion is the one goddamn hill that the Democrats are supposed to die on. And now that the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, this administration has proven that they won't die on this hill and they won't even fucking fight for it. We're no longer being gaslit by all these fucking liberals that are telling us that we just need to, vote for Democrats because it's okay. They're better than Republicans. No, now they're on the same page as us, which is this is fucking bullshit. They came into power promising us these things. They're not doing them. We voted for them. We came out in record numbers, not me, but the Democratic voters to elect 2 senators in fucking red state of Georgia. All this hard work was put in, all this money was spent, all this time on the ground, all these phone calls made and doors knocked. And what the fuck do we have to show for it? So again, as fucked up as it is about what's going on as far as reproductive rights in this country, the one nice thing is that now there's some sense of urgency back among the Democratic Party base to actually pressure our goddamn elected officials to do literally anything.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.